Hello, welcome back to the channel. I have some big news regarding Disney's Mulan. Last we checked up on Mulan, it was delayed, but off of Disney's release schedule. They hadn't given a new release date. Speculation was leaning towards the idea that they might release it internationally before they release it in the United States. Today we have an update on their decision for what to do. It's quite different from what Warner Brothers is doing with Tenet. Mulan is going to debut on Disney+, but not in the way that something like Artemis Fowl debuted on Disney+. Mulan is going to cost $29.99 to rent through the Disney+ platform. That's a big deal. That hasn't quite been done before. I mean, we saw movies like Trolls World Tour debut on VOD for $19.99, $10 less than what Mulan is costing to rent. But not through a platform exclusive like it is with Disney+. So I imagine you have to have Disney+ already, be subscribing with the $5.99 or $6.99, I forget which, a month, and pay the $30. Now, on the one hand, this is more expensive than renting Trolls World Tour or Scoob, but it is still saving money if you're talking about a family of four who would have gone to see this movie in the cinema anyway. My family of three, it's going to be about the same if we choose to rent it. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this is scheduled to release on September 4th. But on the other hand, this is a big middle finger to exhibitors, and I don't think that's what Disney is intending to do. But in practice, that's what's happening. According to everything I've read in my research, it's completely blindsided exhibitors. I mean, Cinemark, AMC, Regal, these companies are relying on, and you know, for this whole process, the two movies that have been the flagship of bringing theaters back are Tenet and Mulan. And now they really just have Tenet. I don't think Warner Brothers will be debuting Tenet in any sort of a VOD at-home way, because I think that would make Christopher Nolan very, very unhappy. But the bottom line for Disney is they invested more than $200 million in making this movie, and they want to make some of that back. This movie would have easily made $1 billion internationally in theaters, but a time where that is possible seems very far off. And so I don't blame them for wanting to recoup some of that investment now. They will be releasing the movie in September in whatever theaters are open. Similar to what Tenet is doing, they're releasing Tenet, I believe in late August, in whatever theaters are open in the United States as well as internationally, but no word on a VOD release, because I don't think they're going to do that for this movie. But for Mulan, they're releasing it in whatever theaters are open and on Disney Plus for $30. Again, that is sort of an unprecedented cost to rent a new release movie or to rent any sort of a movie for $30. But it makes sense because they need to make their investment back. I think Disney fans who really care about watching Mulan are going to pay it. I am probably going to pay it, not because I'm ridiculously excited for Mulan, but because I'm a Disney fan and I want to watch their new release. But to your average moviegoer, I think that the cost is going to be a bit too high. There is also the aspect of, you know, maybe a family of four is willing to pay the extra money to go to a cinema for the experience of going to a theater, but not willing to pay that at home. And the fact that it, you know, looking at a $30 rental is more of a, like, even though they might be saving money to what they would have spent going to the theater, just that shock of, that's $10 more than I've ever spent renting a movie before. That's too much. And especially, I'm not ridiculously excited for Mulan because the only one of these Disney live action remakes I've ever been like truly excited for was Aladdin. I don't particularly know why. I just was very excited for Aladdin for some reason. Trolls World Tour made a lot of money. I think Scoob did too. Having it as a platform exclusive, I don't know. I imagine that won't hinder this performance much because the people who would be paying $30 for this are Disney fans and thus already have Disney Plus. And in addition to that, I just read this morning that Disney Plus has passed its 5-year subscriber goal in the first 9 months of launch. So Disney Plus is a tremendously successful platform. They're still operating at a loss, but because they invested so much in the platform. But they do have a lot of subscribers. And I think this will be successful. I don't know that it will make as much money as it would have made in the cinema, but Disney had to make the decision, do we wait for a time where we will be able to make $1 billion in theaters again? Or do we drop this on Disney Plus and make a good amount of money, at least get our investment back? It sucks because this movie didn't get the opportunity to perform as well as I'm confident it would have. And not because I'm rooting for Disney live action remakes, because I am tired of them, like most people are. But I was rooting for this Asian cast, Asian filmmakers. Of course I was rooting for that. And I think it could still make money. It's uncharted territory. So I am rooting for Mulan to succeed. I'm not sure how it's going to do in international markets or in the markets that are open in the United States, like Texas and Florida, because regulations are a bit more lax in those areas. From gauging what I've seen online in the discourse around this decision online, obviously theater chains are angry. And I don't blame them for being angry. I think they're in a really bad spot right now because they're one of the businesses that just cannot operate in this moment. And I've also seen a lot of people who are angry and who are not willing to pay $30 to rent a movie, almost on principle, it seems. This decision also raises big question marks around movies like Black Widow and especially New Mutants. I don't know why New Mutants is still on their theatrical release schedule for August 28th. It makes no sense. It won't be able to release wide in the United States. I don't know if their plan is to do international. It has to get delayed, and I don't know what they're thinking not updating us on that. But I do think that in terms of movies like Black Widow, which I do think Disney wants to do a theatrical release for Black Widow because MCU, I mean, that's a big deal, but so is their live-action remake lineup. That's a big deal to them, too. I think that Mulan is going to be a test. I mean, if Mulan makes more money than they were expecting it to, I mean, this could be a way for Disney to get their earnings back up if they can make money on Mulan and then do Black Widow in the same way where they release in as many theatrical markets as they can, but then also release it on Disney Plus. It's just hard to picture watching Black Widow at home for the first time. It feels wrong. I mean, I'd prefer for them to delay it as long as they need to so that I can see that movie in theaters. But it really depends how much money Mulan makes. I do think it's going to... The success of Mulan is going to determine a lot of what they do with their other movies, especially New Mutants, because that movie has been delayed and delayed and delayed. But I think the problem with movies like that are that certain movies have language in the contracts of the actors, of the filmmakers, that really mandate that those things be released in theaters. And so there could be some legal some legal problems holding them back from releasing something like New Mutants on Hulu or on Disney+. So I do think that this rental will be something that hardcore Disney fans go for. People who are really excited for this release will go for it. But this isn't going to be a Trolls World Tour or a Scoob where a ton of people rented those movies. I don't think it's going to be the same situation here. I mean, it could be, but it's different in that it's a platform exclusive. It's different in that it's $10 more. So in those ways, it is more of a niche release. But I do think it's going to perform well because these Disney live-action remakes do perform well. And I do think people are looking for new release content like Mulan, Scoob, and Trolls World Tour, especially families. I mean, there are a lot of factors that will determine whether or not this does well and makes Disney back their $200 million. I think Disney will be able to make that money back, especially since they will be releasing it internationally. I don't know whether or not the movie will be able to play in China, because I know China had some strict regulations on a movie has to be less than 2 hours long. I don't know how long Mulan is. So that'll be interesting to see, and to see which markets in the United States it's able to open in. So I'll be here keeping you updated on this movie's release on Disney+, any numbers we're able to get on its success, both in theaters and on Disney+. Let me know in the comments, are you willing to pay $30 to rent Mulan? Obviously, it might make more sense for a family versus for one person. Again, this is September 4th, so let me know, are you excited? Are you angry that Disney is charging this much? I want to hear your thoughts. Thank you for tuning into this video. Stick around for more movie news, movie reviews, trailer reactions, all that good movie stuff. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.